Well, hello, my crafting lovelies. I am the Rocky Mountain Crafter, and I am so very thankful that you can join me today. This die set is by Spellbinders, and it is called Build a Summer Birdhouse. And I'm taking a color chart that I have here of some of my Lindy's Stamp Gang sprays. So I've chosen 3 colors here. The colors are Loonie, Toonie, Teal, Opal Sea Oats, and Treasure Island Aqua. And I'm going to use those for the background of a card that I'm going to make with that Build a Summer Birdhouse die. So I start by shaking up the Lindy's magical sprays and just giving them a real good shake because the sparkly stuff likes to settle, and the sparkly is the best part. Here I'm taking a piece of paper just as a little separator because I only want to get color on one side, and then I'm going to use it as a separator for the other side. So I'm going to afterwards dunk my panel in here, and I'll have one side brown and one side teal. And the intention is that it will look like the ocean backdrop. So here I have to go over it again because I'm thinking about when I put a card panel into here, this blotch of spray I have on here isn't big enough. I'm not going to have enough room for my card panel to fit. Now it's getting there. I have to spray again in those brown colors that will be used for the sand. And I'm just dunking that card panel in here. This is watercolor cardstock, and it is by a well-known maker. And it's very thick, and it is great for doing its job. It really absorbs the water, which is exactly what it is supposed to do, and it doesn't warp very much, also what it is supposed to do. And look at those beachy colors. This next one, I am using Hammermill Premium Copy paper, 80 pound, 100 brightness. So I'm going to do the same exact thing, dunk this into those Lindy's Magical sprays, and just picking up some of the brown, which will be the sand, and some of the teal, which will be the ocean or ocean backdrop. And I felt like there wasn't enough brown on here, so I did give it a little spray. And I am going over the teal again, especially the sides where I had white spots. I wanted that to be all filled in. And it's very easy to wipe this up with a baby wipe on my magnetic platform. Very, very easy. And because my magnetic platform is magnet, so it's metal on top, I'm able to use my heat tool right on top of it as well. And so I'm doing that just to dry these panels. And I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. This one is the Hammermill paper. Look at that gold sparkle at the bottom and that chunk of navy blue in there like the Pacific Ocean. I am loving this panel. And this one here is the watercolor cardstock. So the watercolor cardstock I find made it more smooth and more beachy colors at the bottom. The problem with this paper one, the Hammermill, is that it warped quite a bit, but that's okay. I have a great idea for how to get it unwarped. With my ATG gun, I am putting 2-way tape across the back of this panel as much as possible. That way, when I lay it down onto cardstock, I will start in the center, putting lots of pressure onto the center of this panel, onto the cardstock, and working my way outwards. And then it will be completely flat in the end. And that I'm just using my fingertips to push it down. I don't want to use my hands too much because some of that sparkle does come off a little bit. So just using my fingertips, and then I take it over and I trim it up to size, and look at this beauty now. So now I'm going to compare again, and I need to cut off the right hand side of the watercolor one because of that drip mark there. So now I've got them both the way I want them, and I'm comparing. And I end up using the Hammermill because I love it. It's the sparkle that I'm so attracted to, and Lindy's Stamp Gang is great for that. Here I have a color wheel by the Color Wheel Company. I just ordered this off of Amazon. Now I want to know the coordinating color for teal. I do know that it's orange, but I'm not exactly certain of which hue of orange. And so there is no teal here. I kind of have to go in between the blue and the green and figure it out, but that's okay. There's a couple of colors here that I like, and I pull coordinating colors in my inks by Catherine Pooler, and I pull two, and I'm doing a technique here called swinking. So that's just swiping ink onto paper. And the two colors that I have pulled here are Bellini and Clay Mask. Now these, although they look blotchy at first, they have a smoothing agent in them and they will dry smooth. Then I need to pick which color, and I like this more muted color. So I die cut that little lighthouse birdhouse out of it. And I do a couple of dies. So I do two in that color and then one in white. And I'm going to mix and match these panels on here. This die cut set, it also embosses. So it's very easy to see where the lines are for the lighthouse, birdhouse. So I'm just cutting around the lines, which makes it very easy, and just piecing the white pieces onto there using some Barely Arts glue, which is a fabulous glue. I highly suggest if you're a card maker to get yourself some. It is awesome. So I'm just piecing these pieces of the lighthouse onto here in white. You remember at the beginning I showed you that I was using Loonie, Toonie, Teal, Opal Sea Oats, and Treasure Island, and I showed them as sprays, but one of them is a squirt, and I will talk more about that in a minute. So here I'm just going to cut out the extra elements. I found some wood cardstock. It actually looks like wood. It's awesome. And it looks like washed out wood. So I use that for the podium of the birdhouse and for those little paddles up top. And here I'm just piecing all the pieces of my card together. And I use foam tape on this birdhouse podium, on the birdhouse also, and as well on one of the starfish. The sentiment is by Pink Fresh. It's called Modern Script Sentiments, and it is a foiled sentiment. And I pull out one of my Color Play pre-made card bases. You guys, I love these. They are my go-to. I use them almost with every single card. They are just make life so easy. And I'm using a bone folder just to reinforce that score mark, again with my Barely Arts glue. I like liquid glue for the back so that I have a few seconds to play around with the placement of this and get it exact so that my white border around the edge is perfect. Here you see the birdhouse without a filled in hole. So I did have to go back and fill it in, and there it is. And the door handles as well. But you guys, look at this color, this gold shimmery, and I love this ocean blue spot up here. The amount of sparkle in here, the camera really does this card no justice at all. And again, those are Lindy's magical sprays by Lindy's Stamp Gang. And the Loonie Toonie Teal, as I was saying, is a squirt. So here I'm pulling out the ones that I have as sprays. I have more than this, but here's a squirt. This is what a squirt looks like. And because I have like a few of the sprays, I just switched the nozzle on the squirt to a spray, and I'll switch it back again. And I just like the color of the teal of the squirt, so I wanted it as a spray. And you know what? That worked beautifully. You guys, I thank you so very much for watching today. I am the Rocky Mountain Crafter. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my blog at therockymountainCrafter.com. You can also sign up for my email there. And if you enjoyed this video today, I do ask you to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and my channel. Take care and have a lovely week. Bye-bye.